Jake Bird, the Tacoma Axe Killer who left a curse. Born on December 14th, 1901, in rural Louisiana, Jake Bird grew up in hardship and vanished from home at age 19, hopping freight trains across America. He survived as a railroad laborer, a Gandhi dancer, but this nomadic lifestyle also provided the cover he needed for unthinkable acts. He drifted through towns from the 1930s to the late 1940s, building a criminal history of burglary, assault, attempted murder, and, horrifyingly, murder. Atrocities before Tacoma. From around 1930 onward, Bird is known to have killed at least 11 people, with 13 confirmed victims and a jarring total claim of suspected involvement in up to 46 murders, across more than a dozen US states. His targets were often white women, struck down by axe or hatchet during burglaries gone lethal. He terrorized places like Evanston, Louisville, Omaha, Kansas City, Sioux Falls, Cleveland, Orlando, Portage, and possibly Houston. His itinerant brutality left a trail of blood and unsolved mysteries in towns that would never forget. Night of October 30th, 1947. The Tacoma killings. At approximately 2:30 a.m., Bird broke into the Cludd family home at 1007 South 21st Street, Tacoma, Washington. Armed with an axe stolen from a nearby shed, he entered through the back door, his shoes left behind to crouch silently. Bertha Cludd, 52, was the first to confront him. He bludgeoned her to death when she tried to defend herself. Hearing the commotion, Beverly June Cludd, 17, came downstairs and met the exact same fate. Two patrol officers, Andrew Sabotis and Evan Skip Davies, responded to screams. They witnessed Bird fleeing through the backyard and pursued him. He stabbed one and slashed another with a jackknife before being subdued after a fierce struggle. One officer reportedly knocking Bird unconscious with a punch to the jaw. Bird was arrested, taken to Tacoma City Jail, and swiftly confessed, not only to the Cludd murders, but to many others. Trial and the terrifying Hex. Bird's trial began November 24th, 1947. He didn't mount a substantial defense. His lawyers virtually conceded. Within days, the jury delivered a guilty verdict on November 26th, sentencing him to death by hanging. During sentencing on December 6, 1947, Bird spoke for nearly 20 minutes, fiercely attacking his defense. Then he stopped, his voice cold and final. All of you who had anything to do with this case are going to die before I do. In court, this statement became known as the Jake Bird Hex. The hex takes effect, or coincidence. Over the following 12 months, 6 men linked to the case died under unsettling circumstances. Judge Edward D. Hodge, heart attack on January 1st, 1948. Joseph E. Carpich, detective, heart attack, April 5th, 1948. George L. Harrigan, court reporter, heart attack, June 11th, 1948. Sherman W. Lyons, who took Bird's confession. Heart attack, October 28, 1948. James W. Selden, Bird's attorney. Heart attack, November 26, 1948. Arthur, a steward, death row guard, pneumonia, early 1949. Newspapers sensationalized the deaths, calling it evidence of a supernatural curse. Skeptics countered it was stress, coincidence, or old age. But headlines and public imagination held firm to the idea of the Bird Hex. Final hours, confessions, and execution. Bird was scheduled for execution on January 16, 1948, but asked for a 60-day reprieve from Governor Monrad C. Walgren, offering to detail additional murders. He confessed to around 44 total murders, and authorities confirmed 11 previously unsolved cases through his testimony. Following failed appeals, including petitions to the state Supreme Court and U.S. Supreme Court, Bird faced the gallows. At 12:20 a.m. on July 15, 1949, he was executed at Washington State Penitentiary in Walla Walla. With 125 witnesses present, he was buried in an unmarked grave, known only by inmate number 21,520. Jake Bird left this world in 1949. But what remained wasn't just a trail of blood. It was a curse that whispered death long after his execution. Justice may have been served, but the darkness he carried, it might still be out there. Thank you for watching. And remember, some stories should never be forgotten, because forgetting can awaken what sleeps.